What's up everyone? Today I'll be showing you my mini twist tutorial on blow dried hair. Now usually I do this style on wet hair but decided to mix it up now that I've purchased a couple of new products. I've already washed and conditioned my hair and have really nothing else to do to it, so I'm just gonna go right in with the products. For this style I'm mixing two products. One is the Doe, I keep saying Doe, but it's actually the Dew Honey Curling Foam and the Camilla Rose Curl Maker Gel. I also have this rat tail comb to help with my parting. Now, just a spoiler alert, I am not good with parting my hair whatsoever. I really need to practice, but it's nice to have some sort of guide, especially as I'm working on the front part of my head. You also want to grab a water bottle with cold water. Now, I'll share with you later, but this might be a step you can skip depending on what type of look you are going for. So before getting started, I recommend having a mini trial of your twist. Practice parting and twisting it for your liking so you have a good guide for the rest of your head. One of the worst things is if you get halfway through your hair and end up not liking how much product you used or the way you twisted. Since I haven't done this style in a while, I wasn't sure what thickness I wanted to go with, and ultimately I decided I like the look of a thicker twist. Thin ones looked a little bit too straggly for me, so I tried to find a happy medium. Now, I'm not gonna lie, parting is literally the worst part of this hairstyle for me. I have no sense of direction with the comb and my hair is pretty thick, which makes it even harder to navigate. I didn't know if I wanted to start in the front or the back. Like, this really was the struggle. And I'm just like a very impatient person, so I like to just jump in and just see where it takes me and where I go with it. Now that you've got your main sections, it's time to now start the twist process. You want to make sure you wet the hair, then detangle, detangle, detangle. I go in multiple times with a brush to make sure there are no knots in it. This is super crucial because if you plan to also rock a twist out in like a week or so, it won't look as good if your hair is matted. Once your hair is fully detangled, you want to go in with the foam. And do not be shy. I like to use at least 2 to 3 pumps on each section, starting at my roots and raking it through again with my fingers. I didn't show you it here, but I also went in with a little bit of gel. Make sure you mix it with your fingers first because applying it directly to your hair, it kind of doesn't do what it's supposed to do properly. So you want to make sure to activate it first and then rake it through your hair again. So what I discovered is that I actually have low porosity hair. And what that means is that it takes a while for my hair to absorb water, so I really have to soak my hair first before adding any new products. If you try these twists and you find that they are coming out frizzy or not to your liking, my suggestion would be to try adding more water first before you go in with more product. Sometimes adding more foam or gel is not always the best solution, and sometimes it just comes down to how much water you're using. Alright guys, so I had to change my shirt because that other shirt was getting soaked. But anyway, while I twist this side, I thought it might be helpful just to give some pointers, especially if you have 3B or 3C hair. You want to keep in mind that because our curls tend to be a bit looser, in my opinion, it's harder for them to stay in place. Because they might unravel or they just might untwist in the middle of the night, it kind of defeats the purpose of having a twist in the first place. So to prevent that from happening, I would suggest that you use gel at the ends of your twists to kind of hold them in place. I also find that the bigger the twist, the easier it is to stay in, so I would recommend a medium to small size, but not too small and not too big. Lastly, this style will not look good on dead hair. My hair has grown a lot since I did a big trim last August, and I'll try to show a picture somewhere on the screen. That helped get rid of a lot of dead ends. I remember twisting my hair before and it just didn't look so good. I think maybe the hair looked thin because the hair was dead and it just needed to be cut off. So it's just something to keep in mind that if you want your twist to look full, I would suggest maybe double checking your ends, making sure that you don't need a trim first. So obviously I don't play by the rule book when it comes to parting. I pretty much just separate the hair wherever I see fit, but I will say you want to be cautious of the front part of your hair. That is the first thing people see when they look at you, so I would say you definitely want to be more careful to not make the parts too big or too small. I also make my twist just a tad bit smaller in the front so it frames my face better. So here I am on my last section. In total, this took me about an hour and a half to complete. I haven't done this style in a while, so I kind of had to retwist a couple of them or add more water. Depending on your own hair type and length, this style might take longer or you might even finish faster than I did. So you can use the hour and a half just sort of as a frame of reference, but keep in mind, it really does depend on each person. So this is what my hair looks like, completely done but not dry. I was very pleased with the results. It wasn't my best, but also wasn't my worst. I would give it like a solid 8 out of 10. And once I master those parts, it's really gonna be even better than what it is now. I wore it to work, I wore it out, and I thought it looked really nice, and I even got compliments on it. And that's pretty much the end of this video. I thought I'd end by showing you how my hair looked when I eventually took it out after 1 week. So this is a YouTube short I posted of the process, and when I tell you I loved my hair, I loved how long and full it looked, and it just gave effortless. It gave kind of like Joan vibes from Girlfriends. I would say you definitely want to experiment with your hair and be patient as well. This is still a learning process for me. I am not an expert whatsoever, but as I get older, I just discovered that I really want to take the time to care for my hair and really want to focus on length and health. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave a question or comment down below, and I will see you next time.